Be me, 33 years old and single for the past 4 years straight. Have this male friend Tyler, who I met at work 6 years ago. We became really close friends and hang out regularly outside of work. He is 35 and has a huge friend group of cool guys. Most of them are single and seem like exactly my type. Honestly, notice over the years that Tyler never tries to set me up. He introduces his other female friends to his guy friends all the time. I have watched 3 of his friends get into relationships with girls he introduced. Meanwhile, he has never once offered to introduce me to any of them. Bring it up casually a few times over the years, asking if he knows anyone. He always changes the subject or says nobody comes to mind right now. Starts to really bother me because I know for a fact he has single friends. See them on his social media all the time, and they seem great. My friend group tells me he probably has feelings for me secretly. Say that is why he does not want to set me up with anyone else. Makes sense to me. So I kind of just accept that explanation for years. Figure he is being selfish and keeping me single because he wants me. But Tyler starts dating this girl Vanessa about 8 months ago. They get serious really fast and seem really happy together from what I see. Now I'm confused because if he had feelings for me, why date her? Clearly he does not want me. So why still not introduce me to anyone? We are hanging out at a bar one night, just the 2 of us. He is telling me about Vanessa and how well things are going between them. Mentions he is thinking about introducing her to his core friend group soon. I feel this wave of frustration hit me out of nowhere hearing this. Ask him why he introduces everyone else to his friends, but never me. Say, I have known him for 6 years and have never even met most of them. He gets this uncomfortable look on his face and takes a long drink. Says he does not really know what to say to that question, honestly. Tell him to just be honest, because I genuinely want to understand why. Say if he had feelings for me, I get it, but he is with Vanessa now. So what is the actual reason he has been excluding me from that part? He sits there quiet for a minute, looking like he is deciding something. Finally, he says, "Okay, I will tell you, but you are not going to like it." I say, I do not care. I just need to know what the issue is. He takes another drink and says, I do not introduce you because you would eat them. I laugh, thinking he is joking, but his face is completely serious now. Ask him what that is supposed to mean exactly, eating them alive like that. He says, my energy with men is hostile and judgmental and exhausting to be around. Says his friends are good guys, and I would tear them apart within minutes. I immediately get defensive and say that is completely unfair and not true. He holds up his hand and says, let me explain before you get mad. Says he has watched me interact with men at bars and parties for years. Every single time a guy approaches me or tries to talk to me cold, I either interrogate them like a job interview or mock them for something small. Tell him I just have standards and refuse to settle for less than I deserve. He says there is a difference between standards and being cruel to people honestly. Says I have made guys feel like complete shit just for trying to talk. Never once seen me be warm or kind or even polite to a man who approaches. Think back to times we have been out together at bars and parties. Remember dismissing guys for stupid reasons like their shoes or their drink choice? Remember rolling my eyes when a guy used a cheesy pickup line on me? Remember cutting off a guy mid-sentence because he said something I found dumb? But I was just protecting myself from wasting time on the wrong guys. Pyler says it does not come across as protecting yourself at all to anyone. It comes across as bitter and angry and looking for reasons to reject people. Says his friends would try to be nice and I would destroy their confidence completely. Ask him if he really thinks that little of me after 6 years of friendship. He says he thinks a lot of me as a person and a friend, but he has never seen me treat a potential romantic interest with any kindness, and he is not going to subject his friends to that kind of treatment. Also says he has listened to me talk about men for years now, complaining about dating apps and how terrible men are, and how nobody measures up. talking about all my requirements and deal breakers and red flags I look for constantly. Says it is exhausting to listen to, and he knows his friends would not put up. Tell him that I vent to him because he is my friend, and friends do that. He says venting occasionally is fine, but I do it constantly, every time we hang. Says I've never once said anything positive about men or dating or relationships, just endless negativity and complaints and criticisms about an entire gender, basically. Says his friends are looking for women who actually like men and want them, not women who see men as the enemy or a problem to be solved. I sit there feeling like I have been slapped across the face. Hard. Ask him why he never said anything about this before now, in 6 years. He says he did not think it was his place to comment on how I date. Also says he figured I would just get defensive and it would hurt our friendship. Only telling me now because I directly asked, and he is being honest, finally. Tell him this is bullshit, and he is just making excuses for gatekeeping. Maybe his friends are not as great as he thinks, and he knows it. He shakes his head and says that is exactly what he is talking about right there. That defensive response and assumption that everyone else is the problem, never me, says every time someone gives me feedback I do not like, I attack them. Never actually consider that maybe they have a point worth examining honestly. Always find a way to make myself the victim and everyone else the villain. Says that pattern is exactly why he does not introduce me to his friends. I feel tears starting to form, and I ask if he thinks I am a bad person. He says no, absolutely not. You are a great friend and a good person, but when it comes to men and dating, you have a huge blind spot, and until you fix that, nobody is going to want to be with you. Ask him what he means by blind spot exactly, because I do not understand. He says, I have decided all men are terrible before even giving them a chance. I look for reasons to disqualify them instead of reasons to like them. Approach every interaction as adversarial instead of an opportunity to connect with someone. Says his friend group has watched me from a distance at parties we both attended. They have seen how I treat guys who approach me with nothing but friendliness. Have heard me make comments about men that are honestly pretty hateful sometimes. They have all agreed independently that I seem like I hate men in general. That hits me hard because I do not think I hate men at all. I want a relationship desperately. I am just careful about who I give time to. Tyler says being careful is not the same as being cruel, though clearly says I can have standards without being mean to people who do not meet them. He brings up a specific example from a party 6 months ago we both attended. A guy named Preston from his friend group approached me at the bar. He made a joke about the bartender being slow, and I apparently said something sarcastic. Made him feel stupid for trying to break the ice, and he walked away immediately. I barely remember that interaction at all, but Tyler says Preston does told the whole group later that I was ice cold and seemed annoyed he spoke. Now Preston and the rest of them know to avoid me at events completely. Tyler says that is the reputation I have built with his entire friend group. Also mentions a time I was complaining about a dating app match to him. The guy was 5'10", and I said I only date men 6 feet or taller. Tyler asked me why height mattered that much if everything else was good. I said I deserve to feel feminine and protected, and that requires height difference. Tyler says the comment really bothered him because his friend Rashad is 5 feet 9 inches. Rashad is one of the best men he knows and would treat a woman amazing. But I already eliminated him based on 3 inches of height without knowing anything. Says that kind of shallow, metric-based dating is why I am still single. Ask him if he thinks I should just lower my standards and settle. Then he says having physical preferences is fine, but making them requirements is different. Says I have so many requirements that basically no man on earth could meet them. And even if someone did, I would probably find other reasons to reject them. Brings up another example of me meeting his friend group at a restaurant once. One of his friends, Matteo, tried to make conversation with me about travel. I apparently spent 10 minutes correcting him on facts about places he had visited. Made him feel dumb in front of everyone for getting small details wrong. Tyler says Matteo told him later he felt like I was trying to prove superiority, not trying to connect or have a conversation, just competing and dominating the interaction. Says that is not how you build attraction or connection with another person. You make people feel small and stupid instead of valued and appreciated around you. Sit there processing all of these examples. He is giving me feeling sick inside. Never realized that other people saw me this way or that I came across negative. Always thought I was just being confident and knowing my worth as a woman. Tyler says, confidence is attractive, but what I do is not confidence at all. Confidence is being secure enough to be kind and open to others without fear. What I do is defensiveness and hostility, disguised as having high standards for myself. Says truly confident people do not need to tear others down to feel good. Ask him what his girlfriend Vanessa does differently that makes her so likable. Benny smiles and says, Vanessa is genuinely interested in people and asks them questions. She listens when they talk and makes them feel heard and valued in conversation. She laughs at jokes and finds common ground and makes people feel good. Says when he introduced Vanessa to his friends, they all loved her immediately. Not because she is perfect, but because she made an effort to connect. She was warm and friendly and treated them like people, not obstacles or enemies. Within one night, his friends were telling him he better not mess this up. Says that is what he wants from me too, but cannot make that introduction. Not because he does not care, but because he knows it would end badly. His friends would try to be nice, and I would find reasons to reject them. Then I would complain to him later about how his friends were not good enough. Realize he is completely right about everything he is saying to me right now. I would absolutely judge his friends and find them lacking in some way, inevitably. Would probably complain later that none of them met my standards or impressed me. Never once considering that maybe I did not meet their standards either. Honestly, ask Tyler if he thinks I can change this about myself, or too late. He says anyone can change if they actually want to and are willing. But it requires being honest about your patterns and why you behave this way, and being willing to feel vulnerable and risk rejection instead of rejecting everyone first. Says he thinks I am scared of getting hurt, so I hurt others before they can keep everyone at a distance, so I never have to risk being rejected or disappointed. But that approach guarantees I will be alone forever, because nobody can get close. That hits me like a ton of bricks, because I know he is right, deep down. Have been single for 4 years, and every relationship before that ended badly too. Always blame the men for not being good enough or not trying hard enough. Never considered that maybe I was the common denominator in all those failures. Tyler says his friends are genuinely good men who would treat a woman well. They are kind and funny and successful and emotionally available, unlike what I claim. But they also have self-respect and will not tolerate being treated poorly. They would try once with me and then never again after I showed them who I am. Ask him what I should do differently if I want to actually change this. He says, start by examining why you are so angry at men as a group. Figure out where that comes from and deal with it before trying to date. You cannot build a healthy relationship when you see the other person as enemy. Also says, practice being warm and open with men in low-stakes situations first, like making small talk with a barista or cashier or stranger at a bar. Get comfortable just being friendly and kind to men without it needing to go anywhere. Stop seeing every interaction as a potential relationship. You need to evaluate immediately. Says, I need to stop looking for reasons to reject people and start looking for reasons. Stop leading with my list of requirements and start leading with curiosity about them. Treat them like human beings not applicants for a position I am hiring for. Spend the rest of that night thinking about everything Tyler said to me honestly. Feel embarrassed and angry and sad all at the same time, processing his words. Part of me wants to be mad at him for being so harsh after all these years. But bigger part of me knows he is the first person to care enough to tell truth. Next few weeks, I start paying attention to how I interact with men generally. Notice that my default mode is defensive and cold and looking for problems immediately. A guy at the coffee shop tries to chat while we wait for drinks. Realize I did not even give him a chance. I just assumed he would waste time. Start forcing myself to be friendlier in small interactions with men around me. Smile at the grocery store clerk and ask how his day is going genuinely. Have a real conversation with my Uber driver instead of being on my phone. Practice making men feel valued and appreciated in these low-stakes moments daily. A few months later, Tyler invites me to a casual happy hour with some friends. My stomach drops because I know this is a test to see if I changed. Show up nervous, but determined to prove I can be different than I was. Meet his friends, including Preston and Rashad and Mateo, who I apparently offended before. They are all polite but clearly cautious with me based on past experiences around me. I take a deep breath and decide to just be genuinely warm and interested. Ask Preston about his job and actually listen to his answer without interrupting. Laugh at Rashad's joke about the bar being crowded, even though it is corny. Ask Mateo follow-up questions about his travel stories instead of trying to one-up. Notice that as the night goes on, they start to relax around me more. They include me in conversations and jokes and actually seem to enjoy talking. By the end of the night, Preston says it was really nice hanging out tonight. Rashad mentions a concert coming up and says I should join them if interested. Walk to my car feeling lighter than I have felt in years. Honestly, realize that being warm and open to people is so much easier than defensive. And people respond positively when you treat them with kindness and genuine interest, always. Text Tyler later thanking him for inviting me and for being honest months ago. He responds saying he is proud of me for actually listening and making changes. Says his friends all mentioned that I seemed like a completely different person tonight. They actually want to include me in future group hangs, which never would have happened. A few weeks later, at another group hangout, Tyler's friend Cameron asks for my number. He is 5'9" and works as a teacher, so old me would have rejected. New me sees how kind and funny and genuine he is and says yes. We go on a date the following week, and I show up his new self. Ask him questions about his life and laugh at his stories and make him feel good. Do not interrogate him about his salary or intentions or relationship history at all. Just enjoy getting to know another human being without all the walls and requirements. He texts me after saying he had an amazing time and wants to see me again. Says I am easy to talk to and he felt really comfortable with me. Feel something I have not felt in 4 years, which is genuine excitement about someone. A few months into dating Cameron and things are better than any past relationship I had. He treats me with kindness and respect, and I do the same for him. We have real conversations and laugh together and support each other's goals equally. Feel like this is what a healthy relationship is supposed to feel like. Finally. Run into Tyler and Vanessa at a restaurant one night while out with Cameron. Tyler introduces Cameron to Vanessa, and they all chat easily together for a few minutes. After they leave, Cameron mentions what a solid friend Tyler seems like to me. Tell him Tyler is the one who changed my entire life by being honest. That conversation at the bar destroyed me, but also saved me from years more loneliness. Sometimes you need a friend who cares enough to tell you the brutal truth. Realize I spent years thinking men were the problem, and I was the victim. Never once examine my own behavior or energy or approach to dating and relationships. Built walls so high that nobody could get close even if they wanted to try, and then complained about being alone when I was the one creating my own isolation. Tyler saw all of that, and instead of just letting me stay miserable, he spoke up, risked our friendship to tell me what I needed to hear, even though uncomfortable. Gave me specific examples and did not let me deflect or make excuses like always. And because of that honesty, I am now in the healthiest relationship of my life. Sometimes the best friends are not the ones who validate everything you do. Sometimes the best friends are the ones who love you enough to call you out. Tyler did that for me, and I will always be grateful he cared enough. Never went back to that bitter, defensive version of myself after that conversation. The woman who hated men and blamed everyone else for her loneliness and failures realized I was my own worst enemy and the only thing standing between me and happiness. Sometimes you need to be completely destroyed to finally rebuild yourself into someone better.